Let's talk about WrestleMania, Cronus.
It's about that time.
It's about that time. We are, as we stand today, 13 days away. So just under 2 weeks from the granddaddy of them all, the greatest spectacle in sports entertainment, among other
Grandfather of everyone.
Yeah, among other monikers. We're going to talk about the build to WrestleMania by each match that has currently been announced, or most of them. We've got 8 to talk about. I think it's 8. We'll see. Might be 7.
I think it's 9 with Fatu.
Is it 9? Okay.
Right now, yeah.
Okay. So we're not going to cover all of them then. We are going to cover a good chunk. So we're going to discuss each match, the build to it. Some of them have been made official more recently than others, so we'll just talk about the individuals, how their road to WrestleMania has been. We've got A.I. Jeff here as well. He's going to give us some thoughts, and we're going to grade them out of 10, because that's what we do in the wrestling community. We either give it stars or out of 10. Shall we kick off with probably the most recently announced match, which I think is LA Knight defending against Jacob Fatu for the US title.
Rip LA Knight's reign.
Well, this is it. What are your thoughts on? I know it's obviously it was a number one contenders match last night. So Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, they've had a couple of interactions, but they haven't had, kind of like a real personal feud going on. But what are your thoughts on Jacob Fatu and LA Knight heading into WrestleMania?
I think it'll be good. I definitely think Fatu's going to win it. Because why would you put one of your new stars on the Mania card in a title match and have him lose?
Yeah,
makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Unless there's shenanigans.
Well, shenanigans are. There is this. I thought we were going to get Jacob versus Solo at WrestleMania, but that's obviously not happening. So, I agree with you. I think Jacob's going to win unless Solo is the one who cost him. Maybe. Jacob Fatu he's undefeated, isn't he? Jacob Fatu in singles competition.
I think so, yeah. Excuse me.
You're tired. So, yeah, I think Jacob Fatu's obviously been fantastic since he's arrived. LA Knight, I think, had a good US title reign last year, lost it to Shinsuke Nakamura for some reason, and now has it back. So I think had he kept the US title that whole time, probably would have had a bit more momentum. But yeah, I'm with you. I only see one winner, barring shenanigans.
Yeah.
They've got a couple more SmackDowns to go to kind of inject some last minute heat into the match. But I think the work Jacob's done has been great. I like LA Knight, I've always have. He's always been really entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of excitement for the match itself, I am probably going to go for a 6 out of 10, I'd say, just because of who's involved.
Literally thinking the same.
You going 6 out of 10 as well? Yeah.
It would have been a bit less probably if it was Strowman, I think.
Yeah.
But having Fatu in there, my interest. If Fatu's involved, I'm interested.
There we
generally,
go.
So
yeah, he is great. Yeah, I don't think Braun Strowman versus LA Knight is a WrestleMania match. It's more of a SmackDown match, isn't it? I think it has been actually.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
So what does Jeff think? He says the United States Championship match has been a very late addition, sparked by Fatu's rapid rise and Knight's consistent popularity. The underlying build has been about Fatu's dominance clashing with Knight's resilience indirectly. Teases of bloodline interference are adding tension. It's going to be short but sweet, relying on Fatu's aura and Knight's charisma to carry it. 7 out of 10.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm intrigued as to whether this is a plot to further the Jacob and Solo arc.
Yeah.
Is it still too early for Jacob to have a title, or does Jacob win the title and then feud with Solo because Solo gets jealous afterwards? That's another possibility. So it's quite unpredictable in that respect. As much as it looks predictable on paper, the Solo aspect is probably going to be one to watch, I think.
Yeah. It could go a number of ways.
Yeah. All right, next we have, I don't know if this is actually confirmed yet, but it's definitely going to happen. It's Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. This one's, it's a weird one, isn't it? This one. Go on, you go first.
Lots of people have sort of poo-pooed it, haven't they? because they think Drew should be doing something more.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crapping on Priest a bit. I mean, he's kept it together. He's not the most exciting, but he's not been bad.
No, absolutely not. It's a weird one, this one, because I sort of understand. Because, and this is nothing against Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest is great. He's good character. He's good on the mic. He's good in the ring. I thought he overachieved with the world title last year. He was great in Judgment Day. Him and Rhea really held that thing together. I got nothing but praise for him since he's kind of had this recent run. I think when it was rumored first that it was going to happen, I was disappointed because, you know, Drew McIntyre had probably the best year out of anyone last year in terms of what he did on screen. And the feud with CM Punk, just the way he carried himself as a heel, his social media stuff, he just all hits, no misses. So I was kind of hoping he would have something bigger to do at WrestleMania, whether that was a world title shot or even like a singles match with Roman Reigns would have been great. That kind of, you know, Drew's long-lasting history with the bloodline, dating back to, you know, Cardiff in 2022. Having said that, I think the build to this match has been really good in terms of what they're trying to do. There's no stakes, obviously, but it feels personal. There's a history there. Drew's kind of delusional heel logic for his hatred, whereas, you know, he says that Priest has all he's done is capitalize on Drew's misfortunes, but in reality, all Priest was doing was just the way he's supposed to do, which is wrestle and win matches.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, but Drew's delusional. He's a heel. He'll blame everyone apart from himself. That's his thing. So I really like how they've built it. It's been physical. They're both really physical, and I think it'll be a great match.
Yeah, it'll be big meaty man. Do you reckon they'll have a stipulation for it?
I don't know. What are we, 2 weeks out? It hasn't been announced officially yet. I don't know if it's been announced officially yet.
Well, what I'm reading here seems to think it has, but it's also an AI sort of summary, so maybe not.
Well, if you can see an official graphic on your screen when watching this video, it means the editing's gone well, and it does. If not, I'll probably just throw up a couple of pictures of the two of them doing various things in a wrestling ring.
Figures.
Yeah, I'll draw Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest as stick figures, because I can't really draw anything else, really. I'm a bit like
stick figures with ponytails.
I'm a bit like a really unpopular wrestler. I can't draw.
Nice.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a good match, and I think what's important is coming out of it. I think Drew's winning. I think Drew should win. So what happens after that, I think, is going to be key. What does A.I. Jeff think? Oh yeah, sorry, our grades. I'm going for a 7, I think. I think 7 is a respectable score. 7 for me is excited. What about yourself?
Probably about a 5.
A 5?
Like, the build has been getting better.
Yeah.
I'm not hoping on the match. I'm hoping it does surprise me, actually. But I'm going to go with a 5, sort of middle of the road.
Okay. A.I. Jeff. The feud has been a slow burn with a recent spike in intensity, highlighted by Priest chokeslamming McIntyre through a car windshield last week. The story stems from Priest's Money in the Bank cash-in, ruining McIntyre's moment, and it's evolved into a brutal personal rivalry. He's given it a 6 out of 10. So we got 5, 6, and a 7. I think I'm the more optimistic one here.
Definitely.
What's next on the list? The World Heavyweight Championship match, with Gunther defending against the Men's Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso. I guess I'll start on this one.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah, this one, I'd say, you know that meme where it's like a horse being drawn, and most of it's totally ass, and then the head is like really well drawn on? That's basically how I feel about this feud at the moment. I'll try and get a picture up of it if anyone's not familiar. In fact, I might make my own. I'll pop it on the screen. So, yeah, I think Jey winning the Rumble, we've talked about it. It was a very brave bold, polarizing decision. I was kind of for it at the time because they did something different, but for like the first 6 weeks after the Rumble, it was just, it's bad.
Yeah,
it was just Jay doing his catchphrase in his entrance. Gunther chokes him out, and then the next week it was if all of that was forgotten and they're going to do it again for like 6 weeks in a row.
Hey, play that one song again.
Yeah, exactly. Play it again, Johnny. But it was just the same thing over and over again. There was no substance. There was no... paired with the fact that people didn't want Jey Uso in the match anyway, like irrespective of what was happening on screen. So that didn't help. Obviously, we love Gunther. Gunther's one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, and a lot of people have been waiting for the inevitable, which is him losing to Jey Uso. So I think people are just pissed off because of what the predictable outcome is, and that just makes the feud, even if they're doing good stuff on TV, you're kind of still not that excited. But when you pair that with doing bad stuff on TV, it just made it really bad.
Yeah.
And it's only till recently, this is where the very nice horse head comes into play. The angle last week with Jimmy Uso being, bloodied by Gunther with Jay tied to the ropes, watching his brother choke and bleed out. It was great. That's exactly what a WrestleMania feud needs. Kind of like emotion and revenge and all this kind of stuff that you plot a TV program or a film with. So yeah, I thought last week was a huge step in the right direction. Is it too little, too late? I don't know. There's 2 weeks left, maybe 2 Raws left. So we'll see. But it still doesn't change the predictable outcome unless they totally swerve us. But what are your thoughts?
Batter Jay and Jimmy for like 8 weeks and then just win.
Amazing. Pretty much, yeah.
I do think Jay's going to take it. They're obviously building this underdog arc for him since the Rumble. I hope Gunther can get a better match out of Jay than Jay had with Jimmy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Definitely, because I'm not a huge fan of Jay in ring, really. Kind of.
Quite basic, isn't he?
Yeah, lackluster. Piss weak spear.
Yep.
So I don't want him to win, but I know he's going to. So I don't know if that affects my excitement for it.
Yeah.
I might have to give it a 4.
A 4. Okay. I'm going to give it a 5. Very middle of the road. I kind of just want the match to be good, at least. Like, if Jay beats Gunther and it's a banger, all right, fair enough. WrestleMania, you pulled it out of the bag, whatever. Let's move on. I just don't know what Gunther does afterwards. I don't know what he does. No.
I've seen some people sort of say he goes back to the IC. I mean,
no.
Why?
No.
Yeah, why?
Well,
He's done everything you can do with that.
Another 600-day reign.
Yeah.
No.
It worked last time.
Well, I did, yeah. But would have preferred a longer reign with this one with some better opponents as well. But he might win it. He might win it back. They might give Jay his moment and then Gunther win it back, like the next night on Raw or something. Like in the Attitude Era, like Kane won the title and then lost it to Stone Cold the next night. That kind of stuff. What does Jeff say? Jey Uso's Royal Rumble win and subsequent challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship has been a feel-good story turned intense rivalry. Gunther's dismissive attitude towards Jay's Yeet persona has fueled a classic underdog versus bully narrative. However, it has felt quite repetitive. Whilst the promos are sometimes fiery and the past encounters have not been very good, the most recent angle with Jimmy Uso has been well received. He's given it a 7 out of 10. It's very optimistic from Jeff.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Naomi versus Jade Cargill. I'm excited for this one. I think this has been really good.
Yeah. Again, do you think they'll have a stipulation for it?
I absolutely think they should.
Yeah, definitely.
But a little fact on this one. So, this is the first non-title singles women's match on WrestleMania since WrestleMania 22.
Match in inverted commas.
Yes, I am going to include Candice. I always say Candice LeRae there. Candice Michelle versus Tori Wilson in a Playboy pillow fight, because that was a match that ended with a pinfall. So it has to be considered a match, I'm afraid.
Technically.
Yes. I think Dave Meltzer gave that negative stars. You have to check that. I can't remember which one he gave. He gave the women's match at WrestleMania negative stars. I think it might have been that one. Yeah, it wasn't very good. So yeah, this is going to be a historic moment. If you're taking out, all the Playboy stuff, then I think this is the first one ever that doesn't involve title, which is crazy. I thought
Women's Revolution.
Yeah. I mean, I went back to WrestleMania 1, and Wendy Richter versus Leilani Kai was on that card, but that was for the championship.
There's rarely any sort of women's feuds on the main rosters that don't involve the titles, is there?
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? We're going to segue a minute here, but I think AEW has a similar problem. I think WWE probably has a worse problem at the moment, where the feuds for women revolve solely around titles. And now you've got 4 women's titles. That's probably only going to get, But at least we've got NXT, eh? At least we've got NXT. Anyway, Naomi versus Jade. Yeah, I think this has been really good. I thought it's been shrouded in mystique for a long time.
I think that's helped a lot.
Yeah, who attacked Jade? I thought it was Naomi. I think a lot of people did. But how they revealed it at the Chamber was awesome. When Jade came back, she's looked awesome since she come back. And there's hatred there. The Bianca inclusion at the beginning was good. Naomi turning heel. Naomi's cut some really good promos and vignettes. I think this might be the best run of Naomi's career. I really do.
I do like the character change. I'm not sure I'm too much of a fan of the sort of caution tape outfit.
Oh yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Yeah. It's out there. I don't really have any thoughts on it. Proceed with caution, I guess. It's a heel thing, and stay away from me. I'm dangerous.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. But yeah, I think this is going to be great. This is a big moment for Jade Cargill, because last year Jade was largely confined to tag matches with Bianca Belair, who's probably the best person you could be with if you're a newcomer. So
absolutely.
This is Jade being thrown in the deep end at WrestleMania in a singles match. I just hope they can pull off a great match.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, I don't think they'd let her go solo. I mean, maybe they would if she wasn't ready for it. You put her in literally the biggest stage.
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah.
If she wasn't ready, you wouldn't be doing that.
Sink or swim, I guess, isn't it? At this point.
Yeah, because she is she might not be the greatest wrestler at the moment, but she is a star.
Yeah,
she's got that. I fucking hate the word, but aura about her.
I mean, she looks like $1 million, doesn't she? All the time.
Yeah,
and she's marketable, and she's probably exactly what. I mean, WWE probably couldn't believe their luck when they got someone like Jade Cargill. I hope she's not bad in the ring. She's a bit green.
Well, I like sort of her moves. I really do enjoy her moveset in inverted commas. But technically she's still green. I think. I mean, watching her through AEW, she was improving week on week on week. And to be honest, I think that's continued.
Yeah, I think in AEW she had repetition, didn't she? Lots of singles matches, whereas I think WWE chose not to go that route and not expose her to that level of repetition, which might have benefited her. I'm still surprised she didn't go to NXT, but they obviously saw enough star power to get her on the main roster, so they're kind of crash coursing her through pro wrestling. Let's hope she's ready. I really hope for the both of them it's really good. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll go with you there.
Yeah, you go 7?
7.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does Jeff think? The feud kicked off in reality with Cargill's return from a mystery attack, revealing Naomi as the culprit. The weekly clashes have been physical and heated, and Nick Aldis sanctioning the match to settle their grudge at WrestleMania. It's straightforward revenge and supremacy. However, it's also been effective in showcasing both women's power and charisma. 7 out of 10. There we go.
Okay.
All sevens. Three of a kind. There we go. What's next? Oh, God. The WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I'll kick this one off if you don't mind, Cronus.
Yeah, sure.
This has been one of the worst builds to a WrestleMania match I have ever seen in my life. I just think this has been, and we're going to talk about that segment. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's just fresh. From the second that announcer announced Charlotte as the Royal Rumble winner, this has been total shit. A lot of people groaned, including you and me, when Charlotte won the Rumble. Coming back first, she's back. She's been gone for how long? 16 months?
Yeah, for a year, definitely.
Comes back, wins the Rumble. Brilliant. So that was the first sign. And then I just find Charlotte nauseating in every sense of the word. As a heel, as a babyface. She's a great wrestler when she wants to be. No one's denying how good she can be in the ring. But that's only effective when the match comes. That's not effective when you've got like 2.5 months between the Rumble and WrestleMania to build a feud and a match. And this has just been really bad. The promos have been bad. There's not really been a story apart from I'm the experienced one, you're the newcomer, which we've seen 1,000 times before. Yeah. The sit down interview they did, some people liked it. I don't know. It felt a bit off.
Seemed to me like Charlotte was just trying to just take over,
and she did.
Whether that was supposed to happen, or she did go into business for herself. Either way, it just was bad.
Well, I was watching somebody's coverage of this feud, and they said that it almost felt like Charlotte had Tiffany's lines written down in front of her, and that's a really good observation, because that's exactly how it felt. It's like it's like she knew what Tiffany was going to say and had the responses prepped. That's how it felt. And the problem with this feud is that both of these people look really bad going into this match, which is especially bad for Tiffany, because this is supposed to be a massive moment, uplifting. You're walking into WrestleMania as the champion, like the top prize in the company is yours, and you're walking in defending it. And Tiffany, at the moment, she looks like, she just looks stupid. And that's how she's come across. I think
it's more Charlotte sort of dragging her down.
Yeah, that's the thing. But this is the end result of
that Tiffany's doing or not doing. Yeah,
and this is the end result of this. Now let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown, which occurred 2 days ago. So Wade Barrett's in the ring, and Charlotte comes out, and Tiffy comes out, and I don't know what this was. This was just going to be what was this? Just a face-to-face? One of those, like, they're going to be face-to-face this week
in the same outfit.
In basically the same outfit, yeah. Probably, I don't know whether this is tone deaf from WWE, but they must know how unpopular Charlotte is at the moment. So doing this in Chicago was probably not a good idea, because Chicago is probably one of the best and smartest wrestling audiences in the US, along with Philadelphia. And they ate her alive, like X-Pac go away heat style.
Yeah.
And they did not let her speak at all. And I was just watching this. I was texting you at the time when I was watching this, like, this is hard to watch. I just want the world to swallow. I felt embarrassed for her. And then Tiffany starts saying stuff like, your usual kind of back and forth thing. And then Charlotte tries to say something, and the crowd keep booing. And eventually Charlotte just gives up. And I think, obviously this has been reported that it's a shoot. And then I think Charlotte says to Tiffany, you can have the last word. I think she said something before that. And she does this like mimicking of Tiffany making squeaky noises. Like, what the hell?
Oh my
God. Like the most cringe thing I've seen in many years. And this is why scripts exist, people. Like, this is why there's very few people you can trust to go completely off script. Like, I'd probably trust John Cena and CM Punk. That's about it. Paul Heyman, maybe. And then like the personal jabs started happening. I think Tiffany mentioned that Charlotte was crying on a podcast, which she was because of her divorce. That's real shit. And then she kind of mentioned her dad, Ric Flair, and she mentioned that she's 0-3 in her personal life. And say what you want about Charlotte, but if that wasn't pre-agreed and someone said that in front of like the world on live TV, you'd probably be a bit pissed, wouldn't you?
Well, I do see that side of it, but also, Charlotte's been on a podcast and told the world anyway.
Yeah.
B, if Charlotte is going into business for herself and just trying to take over and make herself look great at the expense of Tiffy, then fair play.
I guess so.
Okay, to be honest.
I guess so, yeah.
Like, if she might not be as quick to sort of barbs and insults as Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's fucking terrible. But, if you're being taken off that script and you don't know what to do, of course that's going to be chief among them, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah. I guess in Tiffany's defense, because, you could argue that two wrongs don't make a right, but I guess in Tiffany's defense, if someone goes off script, then your only option is to fight back or stand there and look like a dumbass, which she has for the past few weeks. So I don't know what's going on backstage. I don't know if there's any real heat between these two. I imagine there probably is.
Certainly seems.
However, as a result of this, I'm excited for the match because I think it's just going to be a train wreck. And I
really hope it's like properly stiff.
Well, do you remember Charlotte and Nia got into it one time? Remember that? They had like a shoot fight in the ring. Common denominator here, guys. Ain't Nia Jax. I'm hoping we get do you remember is it SummerSlam 2003? Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan? The overselling. Just Shawn Michaels like overselling everything. I'm fascinated by how the match is going to play out, but as a build, I'm giving this 2 out of 10. What about you?
Yeah, I'm in the lower regions as well. 2 as well,
2.
I think.
All right, 2.
Yeah.
2. Okay, what's Jeff saying? The WWE Women's Championship has been very slow. Whether that's deliberate or not, it's hard to know. The promos haven't been very good. They have had some exciting brawls, and both went off script in a recent promo on SmackDown. This is leading to questions as to if the match will even take place and how it will if it does take place. He's gone for a 4 out of 10.
Oh, well, that's optimistic.
Optimistic,
I'm sure it will take place.
Yeah. He's very doom and gloom there. All right, moving on.
Swiftly.
Next up, it is the Women's World Championship match. Io Sky defending against Bianca Belair and probably Rhea Ripley. This is still not official, by the way. It is still, as we stand today, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. But if Rhea Ripley isn't added, what the hell are we doing? Why is Rhea Ripley not at WrestleMania? So we're going to treat this as a triple threat, shall we? Are we safe to assume this is going to happen? Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be silly to involve Rhea all this time in like the contract signings and the build up.
And then catering. And then
just not have her in the match.
Tell you what though, I bet WrestleMania catering is really good.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Vegas as well. Do you want to kick this one off? What are your thoughts on how this feud's gone?
I thought it was a bit weird. Like, I'm a big Io fan, and I'm a fan of Bianca as well. But I was really shocked when Io beat Rhea. It was after Elimination Chamber, wasn't it?
Yeah, the next Raw, yeah.
Like, I did not see that coming.
No.
And honestly, I mean, we've seen Io and Bianca, and we know they can go and put on a great match.
Yeah.
So, in the event that Rhea isn't involved, it will still be a great match. But I think throwing her in there just spices it up a bit.
Yeah, it does.
Like you've got these two powerhouses, Rhea and Bianca, versus the high flyer Io.
Yeah,
for some fun times.
Yeah, it's a good dynamic, and the best thing about this for me is I've got no idea who's winning.
No,
like, I'm literally
really,
this is not predictable at all. That either one could win, and I'd be like, fair enough. I think you're right. I was shocked as well that Io beat Rhea. I think I mentioned this last time. I think the reason they did that is it was probably easier to have Rhea be the one to force herself into the match. Just because of her, her size, her like aggressive promos, she probably plays that role a bit better than Io would.
Yeah, it does make more sense.
So whether that means Rhea wins it back, I don't know. It's been okay, this one. I think it's had a few misses every now and then. Like I thought, like Bianca being the referee for the titles match, I thought was a bit much. I think the simplest way to do it would just be like that they were playing on the fact that every week Io was getting like pie faced and shoved away. And the simplest thing to do with Io as the babyface champion would be to go to Adam Pearce and say, put both of them in, I'll beat both of them. And that's how you get your triple threat match. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
And she might still do that, but then it kind of renders the whole referee thing pointless. And, they kind of did the same segment like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And, people were talking about this should probably main event. If it did, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't feel out of place, I don't think, because of who's involved. But I'm excited for the match, largely based on its, unpredictability. If you could have to pick someone, Kronus, who do you think is going to win? I know we haven't done this for any other matches, but who do you think is going to win?
Really don't know.
I think Io retains. And then we get a I think Io retains and we get a Bianca Rhea non-title feud. I think that would be good. But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I'll go 8 for this one. I think.
Yeah, you've gone 8.
Yeah,
cool.
I think it'll be really good.
Yep. What does Jeff think? The Women's World Championship feud has been a mixed bag. Io Sky's upset win over Rhea Ripley on Raw was a bold move, setting up Bianca Belair as the Elimination Chamber victor, challenging for the title. The story has been Ripley forcing her way into the match via contract shenanigans and other added chaos, but the build has sometimes struggled to find a clear focus. The story is about Sky proving she's not a fluke, Belair maintaining her WrestleMania streak, and Ripley reclaiming her throne, but at times it's felt cluttered, at times with some needless segments and too many moving parts. He's gone for a 7 as well. Good analysis, Jeff. I like that. Next up. Cheers, Jeff. Next up, the Night 1 main event, which is now been official for just over a week, which is Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. This one's had a lot of differing opinions online, as if anyone's shocked by that. Online, talking nonsense.
Who'd have thought?
I'm shocked. I can understand some of it. I still think it's going to be great, and I still think it definitely deserves the main event. What are your thoughts on this one?
Might get a bit of hate for this, but I think I agree with what Seth said when they were doing the contract signing. It doesn't really deserve it.
That
seems a bit of a it's not a title match.
No.
It's not a Royal Rumble winner who should main event WrestleMania, lest we forget. And I don't think either are.
No.
And it's just like, oh, here, Punk, here you go. Oh, have this that you've always wanted.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like he's not really worked towards it. Maybe a bit for me.
I think, if you look at the body of work he put in last year, obviously outside of his injury, I think like yeah, if he'd have come back the November just gone, and got in the main event, fair enough. I would say yeah, but I think he's done some good stuff. I think he's he hasn't won any titles yet. I think now's
good.
I think now's probably the time to do it because I don't think he's main eventing next year. So I think it's just a kind of you could argue he probably should have had a main event when he was in the company the first time round.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah,
definitely.
But he didn't, and that's obviously Vince's fault. So yeah, I can see why, just to kind of give it to him. Maybe because they're doing Rock and Roman next year or Rock and Cody next year. So yeah, I can see it from both sides.
Technically it is a main event, but
it's not closing the show, is it?
Yeah, Heyman said you're closing the show. You're closing a show, one of two.
Yeah, they kind of like mix and match, don't they? Like and what you said earlier, like neither Royal Rumble winner is headlining WrestleMania. That's the first time it's ever happened when it's a 2-night Mania. So every single 2-night Mania so far has had a Royal Rumble winner main event. This one hasn't. Because it's Jey Uso and Charlotte Flair. What did you expect? You know what I mean?
They kind of, they made their own bed there, really.
Yeah, like if CM Punk won the Rumble, you'd probably main event. You know what I mean?
That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Punk's finally roughly earned his main event.
But like the fact
that kind of just feels like he's been here you go.
Well, the fact that he didn't win the Rumble means that obviously he's not politicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's towing the line. He knows he's at that stage of his career now where he knows what's best for business, and maybe him winning the Rumble, give it to Jey Uso, give him some shine. Fair enough. But we're here. This is the main event of night one. The story for me here is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is the most interesting thing about this feud. And I've seen some chatter about and I've thought about this as well, is the Seth Rollins question. And there's been some talk about whether we could end up seeing Paul Heyman side with Seth Rollins as like a swerve. And I've seen some people say it wouldn't make any sense, and some people say that it would just be done for shock's sake, but I think it makes total sense. I don't see why people... Well, because if you are Seth Rollins and you hate Roman Reigns and you hate CM Punk, and all you've seen over the past couple of weeks is this tug of war between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, all Seth Rollins has to do to ruin both of them is get into Paul Heyman's ear, convince Paul Heyman that they are treating you as property, and offer him a way out to be Seth Rollins' wise man. And what better way to get revenge on the two people you hate than taking away what both of them love the most? I think that could be a good angle, and I think that makes all the sense in the world, and it facilitates a Seth Rollins full heel turn as well.
I see where you're coming from.
So I don't think it's happening, but I don't think it's an outlandish idea.
No, it's not too out of space, but I mean, Heyman's best friends with Punk, so he claims, and he loves his tribal chief, so he claims.
Yeah.
Unless that's all absolute nonsense, which would be genuine shock, I think.
Well, I think, but it could be a stage of realization. I mean, we could get in the match, we could get Roman, and I think in the match we could get a proverbial tug of war between Roman and Punk for Paul Heyman. And they could both get angry with Paul Heyman. And they could both get physical with Paul Heyman because he's not. Paul Heyman's kind of, between the two, and Roman gets physical because he's not, and Punk gets frustrated with him. And then you kind of see a way out, don't you? Seth's right there, and Seth might have got in his ear beforehand. I think it would be good. So different. We'd have Roman without a wise man for the first time in 5 years. It accelerates the Punk and Rollins feud.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah.
And it's a great vehicle for a Paul Heyman and a Seth Rollins heel turn. But I don't think it's happening. I don't know what's happening. Who do you think wins?
Tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, if Heyman does side with Rollins, then it's got to be Rollins.
Yeah.
Because what's the point otherwise? But if he doesn't, probably Reigns.
Roman winning another Mania main event. Could happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I think Seth's going to win. Irrespective of Paul Heyman, I can just see Seth pinning Roman or something. Retribution.
Yeah.
Kind of like some closure for Seth because he hasn't beat Reigns in God knows how long, has he? Well, apart from a disqualification. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10 for me. This one. What about you?
I'm more around a 6, I think.
6, yeah, each to their own.
Yeah.
What does Jeff think? The triple threat match has been a slow burn turned chaotic masterpiece. The seeds were planted with Punk's return, Rollins' lingering resentment, and Reigns' shift to a conflicted babyface. It picked up steam after a heated confrontation on Raw, where Punk's mic shot of Reigns and Rollins' interference turned into a powder keg. Paul Heyman's ambiguous loyalties have been the X factor, with teases of betrayal keeping fans guessing. He's gone for a 7 out of 10. So 6, 7, and an 8.
3.
And finally, the main event of WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes defending against heel John Cena. I never thought I'd say that, ever. This is probably what I'm most excited about on WrestleMania, if I'm being honest.
I think so.
As it should be. It's the main event. It's the WWE Championship. I think this has been largely very, very good. I think the only thing that has held this back is just the limited John Cena we've had.
Yeah.
And also the absence of The Rock. But I think Cena's... First of all, the Elimination Chamber ending was amazing. One of the best endings to a pay-per-view I've ever seen. John Cena turning heel, everyone freaked out. We loved it. I mean, Cronus and I were vehemently against John Cena winning number 17, and now it's probably what we want more than anything on WrestleMania, just because of that heel turn. So it's amazing what that kind of thing can do. The first promo John Cena cut on the negative side was 2 weeks after that. But the promo he did cut on the fans was really good.
Yeah. See where you're coming from. You can really sort of, you can empathize quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, you can sort of see where he's coming from, and we were all part of that. Everything that he is chastising in his promos, we are a part of that because we were the fans, booing him and God knows what.
It definitely was.
Yeah, 2012, 2013, 2014. God damn it. I actually quite liked him during his US Open Challenge era in 2015 when he started. He started doing like springboard stunners and all these kind of crazy luchador indie moves. And I thought, okay, fair enough. But the second week was kind of exactly the same thing, and it kind of felt a bit copy paste. And then we got to a stage where, we've had no mention of The Rock, we've had no mention of number 17, we've had no back and forth between the two. And we've only got one John Cena appearance left, which came last Monday in London. And they both just absolutely let rip on each other. It was great.
Yeah, that was pretty savage.
It was great. Yeah, absolutely great. Cena's, for me, is he the best promo in WWE history? He's definitely up there in terms of his delivery and how he handles himself. And, there's not many people like John Cena who can do that. I thought Cody Rhodes did really well as well as a promo. He was, fiery. He retaliated, and it was kind of like, it was difficult to say who won the promo, but I did enjoy the billionaire's line from Cena, so didn't think they'd go there. How about you? What are your thoughts on this one? We are 2 weeks today is the match, so
even sort of before the heel turn, everyone was saying, Cena's going to win 17. I think their thought was he was potentially beating Gunther, which at the time would have been ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And while I was vehemently against him winning 17 on his way out, I did sort of say at the time, if he has to, if there's no escaping it, I want Cody to lose his title.
Yeah,
because Cody's the new Cena, basically. Yeah. But now, post heel turn, I want it even more.
Yeah, to be honest. It's crazy, isn't it?
I didn't think I'd be that up for it, but because of that, it's genuine surprise. It's really amped it up for me.
Yeah.
Don't know about giving it a 10.
No,
I'm going
a 9 myself. Yeah, 9. Just because we've had no Rock and it's been we've been fed it dribs and drabs. If the Rock appeared a couple of times and Cena was on every week and it was properly fleshed out, then it's probably a 10 from me. But I'm going to 9. I find this really unpredictable because I thought it would be Cena winning, obviously. But do you trust WWE to not give Cena his number 17 as a babyface because of the moment it creates? That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that they'll save him winning number 17 for when he turns back babyface, because it's such a big historic moment. Most championships ever of the most prestigious championship. Are they really going to do that during a heel turn? I don't trust them to do that. But I didn't trust him to turn him heel in the first place, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's only got 6-8 months after that.
It's about 30 dates.
Turned back face. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not really a lot of time to do the whole heel shtick. I mean, and that hasn't been going on very long.
No.
If they wanted to have him win the 17 as a face, they've got to completely pivot after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And get him going down that road, because they're going to have to build it.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, it won't be as good as it should be. So I think he's winning.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I'd give him the title as a heel, and I'd probably turn him babyface at the last minute during his final few shows, just so he can
leave with the title and then just bring it back. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Just so he can just so he can leave to a standing ovation. So I think he deserves to leave with a standing ovation. So I think when his final appearances, he deserves more than most people for his dedication, consistency, and loyalty, and his hustle-to and respect. He deserves to have a really good send-off. So yeah, I'd give him the title as a heel. And obviously look at the people he can feud with, like heel John Cena against face CM Punk, heel John Cena against face Randy Orton. Things that we never thought we'd see are right there on the table. The summer of Cena. Like, imagine if they do Cena defending against CM Punk at Money in the Bank. Like, imagine the throwbacks that would create.
In West Newbury, Massachusetts.
Oh, God. Oh, I
completely mirror it. Have Cena, straddle the balcony among the fans, blow a kiss.
Oh, God. With the spinner title as well.
Yes. Oh, that's the thing. Do you think he'll bring it back?
He said he would, wouldn't he? Well, when he mentioned the spinner title, it was in the same promo that he said, "I'm going to ruin wrestling." I actually thought he was going to bring the spinner title back.
That would be hilarious. It would be full on heel heat.
For some, I'm not very good with American demographics, but I don't think West Newbury, Massachusetts would have the same atmosphere as Chicago for some reason.
Probably not.
Call me old-fashioned. But that would be great. I don't think have they ever had a show in West Newbury, Massachusetts?
I certainly don't remember it, and a lot of my knowledge of US states and cities comes directly from wrestling.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like the only place I know where Elmwood Park, New Jersey is because of Liv Morgan. Yeah. And big shout out to Howard Finkel, Tony Chimmel, and all the other announcers for repeatedly saying these place names so I can relate them to wrestlers, because I don't know anything about American states and cities beyond that either.
Yeah, I don't know where they are, but I just know their names.
Oh yeah, I have no idea where they are. It's near Texas. Everything's near Texas. So I think I do think Cody Rhodes is winning, but I want John Cena to win. I'm guessing you're probably in a similar boat.
No, I fully think they've got to pull the trigger on Cena. Otherwise, what's the point? I reckon, because we haven't seen The Rock much, he's probably going to show at Mania.
He has to show up at some point.
This third person, potentially.
Ooh, the third person. Well, outside of Travis Scott, that would be more interesting, because I don't know what Travis is. This is such a weird addition. What does Jeff say to wrap this up? The build to this undisputed WWE Championship match has been a roller coaster of intrigue and unpredictability, largely driven by John Cena's shocking heel turn. Cena aligning with The Rock and Travis Scott was a jaw-dropping moment that flipped his legacy on its head, setting up a compelling narrative against Cody Rhodes. The story has revolved around Cena's desperation to cement his legacy and get back at the fans in what could be his full final run, contrasted with Cody's mission to prove he's the top dog in WWE. 9 out of 10. All the 9s.
999.
999. That's it. That is all the matches that we have for you. Let us know in the comments, guys, which match are you most excited for? Would you give any a 10 out of 10 for their build so far? And what are you least excited for, and why is it Tiffany and Charlotte Flair? If you do like the content, guys, give us a like and a subscribe, and turn on your notifications for regular uploads. We've got loads on the channel. We've got some AI generated. I say AI generated. We've asked AI to do some stupid stuff in wrestling, and we've created it for you. We've got predictions videos. We've got current state videos, and loads of other stuff. But until the next time, we will see you later.
Yeah, take care.
Take care. Bye.